pertinacity in some instances. If they have fixed their mind on any one article, they will come to you day after day, refusing any other you may offer to their notice. One of the squaws fell in love with a gay chintz dressing gown belonging to my husband, and though I resolutely refused to part with it, all the squaws in the wigwam by turns came to look at the gown, which they pronounced with their peculiarly plaintive tone of voice; and when I said no gown to sell, they uttered a melancholy exclamation of regret, and went away. They will seldom make any article you want on purpose for you. If you express a desire to have baskets of a particular pattern that they do not happen to have ready made by them, they give you the usual vague reply of by and by. If the goods you offer them in exchange for theirs do not answer their expectations, they give a sullen and dogged look, or reply "Car, car," no, no, or "Carweenie," which is a still more forcible negative; but when the bargain pleases them, they signify their approbation by several affirmative nods of the head, and a note not much unlike a grunt. The ducks, fish, venison, or baskets are placed beside you, and the articles of exchange transferred to the folds of their capacious blankets, or deposited in a sort of ruchen wallets not unlike those straw baskets in which English carpenters carry their tools. The women imitate the dresses of the whites, and are rather skilful in converting their purchases. Many of the young girls can sew very neatly. I often give them bits of silk and velvet, and braid, for which they appear very thankful. I am just now very busy with my garden. Some of our vegetable seeds are in the ground, though I am told we have been premature, there being 10 chances to 1 but the young plants will be cut off by the late frosts, which are often felt through May, and even the beginning of June. Our garden at present has nothing to boast of, being merely a spot of ground enclosed with a rough unsightly fence of split rails, to keep the cattle from destroying the vegetables. Another spring I hope to have a nice fence, and a portion of the ground devoted to flowers. This spring there is so much pressing work to be done on the land in clearing for the crops, that I do not like to urge my claims on behalf of a pretty garden. The forest trees are nearly all in leaf. Never did spring burst forth with greater rapidity than it has done this year. The verdure of the leaves is most vivid. 1,000 lovely flowers are expanding in the woods and clearings. Nor are our Canadian songsters mute. The cheerful melody of the robin, the bugle song of the blackbird and thrush, with the weak but not unpleasing call of the little bird called Thitabecec, and a wren whose note is sweet and thrilling, fill our woods. For my part, I see no reason or wisdom in carping at the good we do possess, because it lacks something of that which we formerly enjoyed. I am aware it is the fashion for travellers to assert that our feathered tribes are either mute or give utterance to discordant cries that pierce the ear, and disgust rather than please. It would be untrue were I to assert that our singing birds were as numerous or as melodious on the whole as those of Europe; but I must not suffer prejudice to rob my adopted country of her rights without one word being spoken in behalf of her feathered vocalists. Nay, I consider her very frogs have been belied. If it were not for the monotony of their notes, I really consider they are not quite unmusical. The green frogs are very handsome, being marked over with brown oval shields on the most vivid green coat. They are larger in size than the biggest of our English frogs, and certainly much handsomer in every respect. Their note resembles that of a bird, and has nothing of the creek in it. The bullfrogs are very different from the green frogs. Instead of being angry with their comical notes, I can hardly refrain from laughing when a great fellow pops up his broad brown head from the margin of the water, and says, "Willaroo, willaroo, rillaroo;" to which another bullfrog from a distant part of the swamp replies, in hoarser accents, "Get out, get out, get out;" and presently a sudden chorus is heard of old and young, as if each party was desirous of out croaking the other. In my next I shall give you an account of our logging bee, which will take place the latter end of this month. I feel some anxiety respecting the burning of the log heaps on the fallow round the house, as it appears to me a rather hazardous matter. I shall write again very shortly. Farewell, dearest of friends. End of Letter 10.